Welcome to Tales We Thought We Knew, the show where we prove that fairy tales are far more than just bedtime stories. They're coded messages passed down through generations, holding secrets and warnings we've long forgotten. Today, we're going to peel back the enchanted petals of a sleeping curse and awaken the truth behind one of the world's most famous myths. This is the story of Sleeping Beauty, but forget the sugar-coated, happily ever after version you think you know. We're diving into the real story. So let's set the scene. A beautiful princess is born and the entire kingdom rejoices. A lavish celebration is thrown and all the important people are invited. Well, almost all of them. One fairy, or in some older versions, a wise woman is left off the guest list, and she is not happy about it. Feeling disrespected and ignored, she crashes the party and lays down a terrifying curse. On the princess's 16th birthday, she will prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die. It's a shocking, devastating moment. Thankfully, another, more benevolent fairy steps in. She can't completely undo the curse, but she can soften its blow. Instead of death, the princess will fall into a deep sleep, a slumber that will last for 100 years, only to be broken by true love's kiss. The king, terrified, orders every spinning wheel in the kingdom to be destroyed, hoping to outsmart fate. But as we all know, fate isn't so easily cheated. On her 16th birthday, the princess, drawn by an irresistible curiosity, discovers a hidden room in the castle tower. There, an old woman sits spinning thread. The princess, having never seen a spinning wheel before, reaches out to touch the spindle. The curse is fulfilled. She pricks her finger and instantly falls into a deep, death-like sleep. The good fairy returns and, to spare the princess from waking up alone in a strange new world, casts a spell over the entire castle. Everyone from the king and queen to the cooks and the stable boys falls asleep right where they are. A thick, impenetrable forest of thorns and briars grows up around the castle, protecting it from the outside world. Time inside the castle walls stands utterly still. For 100 years, the legend of the sleeping princess circulates. Many brave princes and adventurers try to hack their way through the magical forest, but all of them fail, perishing in the thorns. Then, after the century has passed, a new prince hears the story. He feels compelled to see the legendary castle for himself. As he approaches the forest of thorns, the 100 years are finally up, and the thorny branches part for him as if by magic, revealing a clear path. He enters the silent, sleeping castle, walks through its dusty halls, and finally finds the princess asleep on her bed. As beautiful as the day she fell under the spell, he leans down, gives her a kiss, and a miracle. She awakens. The entire castle wakes up with her, life resuming exactly where it left off. The prince and princess fall in love, get married, and live happily ever after. Or is that really the end of the story? That's the version we all know, but it hides a much darker, more complex reality. Let's start by really looking at that curse. Why does this one uninvited fairy hold so much destructive power? In the earliest versions of this tale, she isn't depicted as inherently evil, just as a figure of wisdom who has been disrespected, ignored, and cast aside. Her exclusion from the celebration isn't just a social faux pas, it's a symbolic act. It represents a society that values superficial appearances and youthful celebration over the deep, sometimes uncomfortable, wisdom of its elders. This story becomes a powerful allegory for what happens when a woman's voice is silenced, when her experience is deemed irrelevant. Her rage isn't just personal, it is the consequence of a kingdom that has forgotten its roots and dismissed the very people who hold its history and its future. The curse is a direct result of disrespect. It's a warning, ignore wisdom at your peril. And what about that spinning wheel? It's not just a random object. The spindle, the act of spinning thread, these are ancient symbols of womanhood, of domestic power, fate, and the passage of time. Think of the fates in Greek mythology, spinning the thread of life. When the princess pricks her finger, it's more than just an accident. It's a moment of profound transformation. She bleeds. This is often interpreted as a metaphor for the onset of puberty, the moment a girl transitions into a woman. It's a physical awakening that triggers a magical slumber. This isn't just about a curse. It's about the terrifying, uncontrollable power of her own changing body. The castle and the kingdom fall asleep with her, symbolizing a world that is not yet ready to deal with this newly awakened female power. She is put on pause, frozen in time, until the world and a man is ready for her. Now, let's talk about that famous kiss. In the Disney version and most modern retellings, it's presented as the ultimate romantic gesture, true love's kiss. It's pure, magical, and consensual in a fairy tale sort of way. But if we trace the story back to its darker origins, the narrative changes completely. In some of the earliest versions, like Giambattista Basal's Sun, Moon, and Talia from the 17th century, the prince doesn't just kiss her. He arrives at the castle, finds her unconscious, and, overcome by her beauty, takes advantage of her while she sleeps. It is a deeply disturbing act, not an act of love. In this version, the princess, Talia, doesn't wake up from a kiss. She remains asleep and gives birth to twins. She only awakens when one of her newborn babies, searching for milk, accidentally sucks the splinter from the curse out of her finger. Imagine waking up after 100 years to find you are a mother. This isn't a love story. It's a horrifying warning about female passivity, silence, and the ultimate vulnerability of a woman whose body can be controlled and used without her consent because she cannot speak, cannot say no. This forces us to re-examine the core message of the story. For 100 years, Sleeping Beauty just waits. She is completely passive, frozen in time, waiting for someone else to come along and fix everything for her. What if the story is a subtle, insidious message passed down to girls for centuries? Be quiet, be still, be beautiful and good, don't cause any trouble. And if you wait patiently enough, one day, your prince will come to rescue you and give your life meaning. But that's not how real life works, is it? Relying on someone else for your own awakening is a dangerous gamble. In this light, maybe the real curse isn't the prick of the spindle at all. Maybe the real curse is the waiting. The belief that your story doesn't truly begin until someone else starts it for you. Maybe the true awakening has nothing to do with a prince. Maybe it's about waking yourself up and choosing to write your own story. So, what should we have learned from Sleeping Beauty all along? It's not a simple romance. It's a complex cautionary tale. It teaches us that ignoring wisdom, especially the wisdom of women, has devastating consequences. It shows us that silence, whether forced or chosen, can become a prison that leaves you vulnerable. And most importantly, it reveals that a true awakening isn't about a magical kiss from a stranger. It's about finding and reclaiming your own voice, your own power, and your own agency. It's about deciding for yourself when it's time to wake up. What do you think? When you close your eyes and picture this fairy tale, what do you see now? Did we miss a crucial detail or a different interpretation of the story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this journey into the stories that shaped us, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because Tales We Thought We Knew has many more secrets to uncover. Join us next time as we dive into one of the darkest transformations in fairy tale history. You will never look at mermaids the same way again. Thanks for watching.